So as of recording this video, Diablo IV has launched. As long as you purchase the deluxe edition and you're not, waiting for the regular launch like me. But that doesn't mean that I'm not excited, and I guess I have an extra $20, so I'm excited about that too. I fully expect Diablo IV to be a great game, but I haven't played it past level 25. So why am I so confident? I pre-purchased Diablo IV a few months ago. I tested it in the closed beta test that came with that, the open beta test, which came later, and then the server slam thing, whatever the hell you want to call that, after that. I put in a lot of hours into this game for a game that was not fully released yet. I saw some changes in the different things, but I got to experience a lot of the general idea of the game. And it got me excited in three very specific ways. First, the story and atmosphere. Second, and please let me explain this one so that you don't, before you downvote, the MMO-like experience. We'll get to it, I promise. And then third is going to be, yes, the gameplay, but probably not for the reason that you expect. With the review embargoes over, I've been kind of hiding from Diablo IV reviews. Even some from my favorite content creators, because I want to go into the game treating it like it's 1997, and I have to ask permission to use the internet. I want to go in without expectations of what builds I should do, if the story is good, what's overpowered and what's not. Really, I don't want to know what to expect beyond what I'm already know from my testing. Diablo has been known for many things, like its power fantasy, replayability, seasons, difficulty ranks, itemization, and hardcore runs. What normally isn't talked about as much is its story, and this out of my three reasons, is potentially the one that could spoil faster than milk. So we'll check back after a full playthrough and see if it actually holds up or not. And no, it's not that story is ignored. Story in Diablo is still very important, the dark themes and everything like that. I just mean that there are things in Diablo that kind of take the forefront, while story takes a bit of a back seat in a lot of the conversations about what makes Diablo really great. But I'm a sucker for a good story. And the story I witnessed to begin Diablo IV was dark, it was brutal, it was engaging, and it left me very eager for more. In just a few short quests, I was pulled into the world better than some books or movies, better than some CRPGs. The delivery is well done with excellent voice acting, good cinematics, and in-game story and atmosphere. The game world feels dark and vicious. And even as at times it devolves into a sort of playground that ARPGs are known for, with the hordes of enemies to be felled, the world still feels crafted and dangerous. I don't think many players would choose an ARPG over a CRPG for storytelling. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I expect Diablo IV to have a better overall story and lore than, say, Baldur's Gate 3 later this year. But so far, it looks like it'll be presenting a compelling dark story, and I'm eager to see where it takes us and what surprises it holds, and how often I'll be left with a face like this. But it's not just the story that I'm excited about, but this is also going to be the most controversial take. But given the background of this channel, I don't think it's going to be necessarily surprising, and that's the MMORPG-like element, MMORPG Lite. These elements have actually upset some players, but I think Diablo IV is doing it in a really good way, integrating the appeal of an MMORPG by kind of using phasing technology so that it doesn't take away the feeling of dread and a bit of the feeling of isolation. Some of the most fun I had in Diablo IV during the hours and hours I put into it during testing phases was with friends. getting to explore dungeons together, tackle bosses, even die hideously together. Okay, so honestly, it's probably more me dying and them laughing at me, but it was still fun for them. It's a bit like having your cake and eating it too. I can see so much enjoyment to be had grouping up with friends and getting your very first world kill together, or grinding in some dungeons for gear. But I'll also be able to play on my own, work through the story on my own, and I don't necessarily need to fear out-leveling my friends either if I do this, as the systems they use tailor creatures to each player even while you're in group. It won't be perfect, no system like this is. Looking at you, EverQuest 2 mentor system, and your overpoweredness, but still I like you. But I'm always in favor of games that work to facilitate playing together. And finally, yes, gameplay. I am not a veteran of ARPGs necessarily. Path of Exile and EVE Online, and yes, I know EVE Online is not an ARPG, might as well be the same game to me because both of them are incredibly intimidating to me in their depth and complexity. They feel so far advanced that I'm hesitant to even start, like looking down a well with no bottom. Diablo IV, on the other hand, feels both deep and accessible in a way many RPGs I've played in the past are not. I feel like I will get the same kind of enjoyment from this I did all the way back when I was a tremendous fan of games like Nox and Titan Quest. I don't feel an overwhelming need to min-max my character or follow builds, but rather I'm excited to just kind of test things out on my own. Then maybe go over to Vulcan's channel and actually learn what I'm supposed to be doing with the game before I try it, like before I attempt a hardcore mode or something like that, because otherwise it'll be very fast. I'm okay with being underpowered at first if I make the wrong choices because I get to kind of stumble my way through the game. To me, that's part of the beauty of new games, that fumbling around experience, and Diablo IV has so far seemed eager to let me do that, with the ability to change things later if I so choose on the same character and there being some semblance of balance. There will always be better builds, but as long as I can get through the game with whatever bullshit I create, I'm happy. That's why I am personally very excited about Diablo IV. But what about you? Did you get the early access? Are you enjoying the game already? Or are you waiting like me for the original launch? I'll throw up on the screen here. This is the launch schedule that they have. So you can kind of get an idea of when the game will be unlocking in your region if you have the regular unlock schedule. And yes, keep in mind that because it does have some MMO-like elements, there are going to be some MMO-like issues. When we were playing in the closed beta, there were queues and crashes and things like that. When we played in the open beta, there were queues and crashes. Not so much in the server slam, but I think at that point, a lot of people had they tested the waters and they were ready to move on. So just kind of be aware that you're probably going to face some issues, but maybe the early access period will kind of help peter that out a little bit. That's all. I just wanted to kind of share some of my excitement for the game with you all, and hopefully, we get to share in this enjoyment together. If not, and you're looking for another RPG, Baldur's Gate 3 is just around the corner, and if you want to know why I think that game is going to be absolutely fantastic, based on kind of a similar idea of I played it before, I put some video of it here. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.